Hey guys, Prules here, and today I'm going to go off on the M417 a little bit. This gun comes with the Close Quarters DLC and is the first recon assignment, which is simply 10 TUGs, motion sensor assists, and to capture 20 flags. And I don't want to speak too much about the weapon stats alone, but before I go on, I just want to mention that the M417 has a 1.85 second reload with 50 max damage and 37.5 minimum damage, which is actually the same as the Mark 11, except that the M417 has 10 more rounds in the clip. Now granted, this thing kicks like a damn mule, but I found that after just one night of playing with this gun that it became very easy to manage, and I think the weapon currently walks a thin line between being perfectly balanced and overpowered. And I say that because I think the problem is more that the other semis for recon just fall short and are not desirable at all. And the M417 changes all of that by giving us some kind of a hybrid between the heavy semis and the SKS. At first I used this gun in TDM just to rush the attachments, and when I finally got the laser I started to understand why this gun is part of the Close Quarters DLC. I mean, the stopping power this thing has at short range is just unbelievable, and I frankly think it's easily the single best weapon the recon class has outside of extreme ranges. I noticed that players tend to stick the laser sight on it, but I actually found that the suppressor, foregrip, and 1.5 times PKA scope is actually the setup I stuck to the most. And I'm not a huge proponent of suppressors, but on this gun I actually found it to work quite well in TDM, Conquest, and Rush. So another thing I should probably mention is that the foregrip will really help tame the gun as far as the accuracy goes, and the 1.5 sight is just really good for medium and long range engagements without making the gun useless for closer quarters. And I tried out the 4x scopes for a while, but I just kept coming back to the PKA. The reason I think this gun performs so strong in just about every game type is simply because it has a remarkable ability for section control, and what I mean by that is just locking down a part of the map. And the reason why it's so good at that is mostly thanks to its 21 round magazine. So essentially what I try to do is set down my tugs or whatever the fuck this contraption is called, and make sure I am picking off people with minimal reload so as to keep the enemy constantly on a respawn timer, which is really important, especially in Rush as an attacker. And with this gun the reload is really fast, which is nice. And so normally I'd recommend that you not be so aggressive with a semi-auto, but it seems like this gun can hold its own just fine. I mean, if you ever find yourself in a close range firefight, it's not a complete stretch that you will live. But this gun isn't exactly the most accurate thing in the game, especially when you're spamming the trigger, but you won't exactly have time to take careful shots at short range engagement, so you kind of have to just hope you get lucky with some of those shots. However, I guess when you're at more comfortable medium ranges with this gun, it's important that you do pace your shots because it will come out of control rather quickly. As we wrap up here, I'm hoping to get some opinions on this gun from the community, because the fact is I'm a huge fan, and outside of super long ranges it will definitely be my top recon gun for pretty much every map and game type combination because of how reliable it seems to be. In the large amount of time I've already spent using it, I've never felt like it was overpowered like some players claim that it is. So in fact, I think the case is simply that the other recon semi-autos are just too undesirable, and I think that the M417 is a sign that those other guns should be balanced in order to compete with it. Something that's interesting is that it looks like PC finally gets their hands on the Close Quarters maps tomorrow, and I will definitely be giving this gun a whirl in there. So don't forget to take a second and rate the video. Until next time, Battlefielders.